Hello everybody and welcome to your next C# Xnay tutorial. So now we're going to be learning more on the camera effects. So the last two tutorials was mainly scrolling effects with viewports, etc, etc. So in this tutorial what we're going to be learning about is doing the zoom effect. And we do zooming by doing a scale matrix, and adding matrices is really easy. The thing Well, there's different ways you can scale. There's one way to scale, but it'll only scale in the position relative to your translation. So what I've done is that I'm trying to make it that when you zoom in towards the player's position. And this is how I've done it, okay? So first of all, I'm making a float variable called scale, and I set it to 1.0f because that is the default scale, okay? Default scale is 1, meaning that is normal size, okay? So right here I just use a keyboard. If they press the Z key, they increase the scale by 0.01, and if they press the X key, they decrease the scale by 0.01. And then to add different matrices and stuff, all you do is put the multiplication symbol in, and then add another matrix or whatever to the view matrix. So this will we do matrix.create scale. We put in the scale value there, and then it will scale it by that value in the x and y coordinates. And you can look at the different overloads in order to do different scales for different for the x, y, or z coordinates. Okay, now as for zooming to the player, so if you just do regular create scale by the scale, what it will do, it will scale it based on the camera's position, right? So if the camera's at 0, 0, then it will zoom into the position 0, 0. For this, it depends on what you want, where you want to zoom in. Maybe you want to zoom in based on the camera center position or whatever, or the camera's origin position, etc, etc. It depends on what you want for your game, but I'll show you how to zoom into the player in case you want that kind of functionality. So what we want to do is detect when the player's center hits the center of the screen. So you do this by getting the image width divided by 2. Now I was too lazy. I didn't want to go in the hassle of adding in texture 2D and putting in the image. You can do that if you want, and then do image width divided by 2. But I know that my picture is 32 pixels wide, and each frame of the picture is 32 pixels wide, and each frame is 48 pixels long. So 32 divided by 2 is 16, and 48 divided by 2 is 24. So we do the player's position x plus 16, subtract the view width divided by 2, and then we want to divide it by the scale. Because if this scale, okay, say the player's position is say at, like, the view width is going to, say the view width is at 400, right? But if we scale it in, say the scale becomes 2.0, right? Therefore you've zoomed in at the scale of 2.0. That means the viewport is going to be equal to half of what it was before. So what we want to do is that we divide the half of the viewport divided by the scale, which will give us the current viewport's width. So example, so say the viewport's width is 400 pixels, and the scale is 2, then therefore the current viewport is going to be 200 pixels wide, or what, etc, etc. So then that will give us the actual viewport, and then we do the player's position, the center position, subtract the current viewport, and then if it is, then our camera will scroll, etc, etc. And whenever our camera scrolls, then our view matrix will be reflect on what the player's position is. And if you want, then you can set that the view matrix zooms into the center of the camera. If you want that to, it's up to if you want to do that, then it's up to you. But if I was to run this program, let's see what we get. So right now, everything remains the same. So if I click the Z key, it zooms in and adjusts itself to zoom right into the center of the player. So you notice that no matter where it moves, it's at the center of the player. Okay, now if I zoom out now, and say I zoom out to this portion right here, now normally when I hit the center of the background image or whatever, the view or whatever, it would scroll. But now, see, look at the viewport is kind of larger than it was before because we scaled it down in size. So then, therefore, when the player hits the center of the screen, which is right there, then it's going to start scrolling. And then once you zoom in again, then it will scale accordingly. So that is it for this tutorial. Kind of short, but yeah, that is how to do more camera effects with scaling. And the next tutorial is going to be doing rotation camera effects. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and bye.